You've probably been told that bonds are an important part of your retirement planning. And that is true in a lot of cases. But you know what? Bonds are not risk free. The ups and downs of the interest rates can really hurt you, and at a time when you need to start drawing income for your retirement. When interest rates move against you, that can really hurt, and we want to avoid that when you're looking to generate retirement income. Hi, I'm Jay Weinstein, president of National Planning Associates. We're a national firm. We do business in about 23 states to this date. I want you to stick around, just spend a few minutes with me because I'm going to give you some valuable information about building retirement income that's going to last the rest of your life, and if you're married, your spouse as well. People think bonds are a great investment, and they are. They serve a purpose, but it's not the income generator that we've been taught that it is because of the interest rates that are inherent in how bonds work. Now remember, losing money in the market can hurt because you have to rebound. If you lose 40% over a couple of years, people think, oh, I just need to get 40% back. No, that's not how the math works because you have a lower balance. Now you need 67% to get back to square one. And I'm going to teach you how to avoid that scenario because that's something that can really put a problem in your retirement planning. And it's not only the percentage drop, it's the timing, because what can happen is the market can come down shortly before you're ready to retire. And now the income that you were planning on generating from your money is going to be significantly lower. And when you start taking out the income, right, that's going to lock in the loss if that were to occur. And that's something, again, we want to avoid. Now, there is a term for this, and it's called sequence of returns. The market's ups and downs and taking income at that same time, especially when we're in a bit of a trough, can damage your money supply and the income that you can generate for the rest of your life. Very crucial. Very few people talk about this, but these are the things we teach you how to protect against. It's not only a mathematical failure, it's a timing situation. And again, we want to protect against that. It's what I built my career on for over 30 years and how I developed National Planning Associates so that people understand protection is extremely valuable. When you book a call with me, I'll be able to give you exact numbers and show you simply how to structure your money so that you have plenty of liquidity and plenty of income for that portion of your retirement accounts. Once you understand how to dial in your income levels that you need to live on, right, plus probably 20% for inflation, you now have a lot of room to invest your money any way you like because you're not reliant upon that money to live on. Once you understand how to dial in your budget, your monthly income that you need, and do it on a guaranteed basis, whether the market goes up and down for both you and your spouse, both of your lifetimes, you now can invest your money without worry of needing to dip into it for income purposes, right? We're separating the accounts. We have cash. We have certain other types of investments that are designed for guaranteed income. Then you have your investments that you don't need to dip into because you don't know where the market's going to be year in and year out. And if you have to take money out of those investments, again, as I mentioned earlier, that can really hurt. We blend different kinds of investments in. We use cash, you use investments, you use bonds. You can use fixed index annuities that have very special attributes. Some people love annuities, some people hate them, but most people don't fully understand the inherent parts of the annuities because they're fantastic income generators. I'm going to teach you something about life expectancy credits that turn your income into what I call pension-like income, meaning that it's going to last the rest of your life and your spouse. Now, it is not a pension. I want to be very clear about that. But what it does is look and act and smell, so to speak, just like a pension. It is your money. Again, it's not a pension, but it does have similar attributes that you can employ so that your income, your retirement, your safety, your longevity are also very, very locked in and guaranteed. It also has other attributes like what's called an income doubler. Should you become disabled, sick, or you're not going into a facility, you're at home and you need extra income coming in, I'm going to show you how these annuities can provide you with significantly higher levels of income should you become disabled in any way. Now, if you're not interested in the income portion, which I can tell you is very, very strong, we can actually have accounts that have no fees, zero fees whatsoever, and they participate with the S&P or other indexes, and we have triggers. We have many, many different ways to go about it. I won't get too far into it right now, but I have contracts. My firm has contracts with all of the major carriers, and each one has a particular way of going about doing business that I'd like to tell you about so that you understand what your options are as you move forward. It keeps your money very safe. It locks in the gains that you make. You'll never lose any of the gains. And there's what's called a reset. So if the market comes down, your account doesn't lose any money, but it actually starts the next year at a lower level so that when you're trying to get back to even, it's much easier to do it because we haven't lost anything, but the account value is now calculated from a lower value, which is a good thing, right? You didn't lose any money, but the calculation now from a lower number so that if it goes up, we get a gain, right, that we wouldn't have gotten had we been in the market on this portion of your money. I will explain this in more detail when you book your call. Once again, it's not where you're going to put all your money. It's where you're going to put 30 to 50 to 60%, depending upon how much income and how much safety you want. And we can get you market type gains. If you're not looking for the income, there's several different styles of annuities that we understand very deeply. We want to show you what your options are so that if you want income, great. If you don't want income, but you want growth, we'll show you how to use trigger points where if the market goes up a tiny bit, you can get up to 7, 8, 9% gain each year and lock that in without any fees. We'll show you exactly how you can do that and the contractual language that allows that to happen. There's what's called caps and participation rates and monthly averaging and many, many different complicated strategies. We'll make it very simple so that you can understand exactly what you're getting into and how you can benefit from these fantastic products. They're not for everybody, and they're certainly not for all of your money, but they can be a very useful tool, as I mentioned earlier, a better way to go about it than perhaps bonds. We want to keep your money intact. We want to stay away from the bad stretches so that the income portion of our investments are not affected by the market's whims and the ups and downs, which happen all of the time. Can you imagine you're starting to take income from your securities investments and you're watching the account go down, 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 down? How is that going to work out? It may turn out if you're relying on the market for your income needs, that could pose a big problem, especially since the market is so high now. It's as high as it's ever been. How much higher is it going to go? So we want to generate safe, guaranteed income. Annuities were not designed to be everything for everybody. They have a particular purpose, just like cash does, just like bonds does, just like securities or buying stocks does. In fact, stocks were never meant for income. You now have to sell those stocks to generate the income, to take withdrawals, and that's something that's okay to do, but it's not the best income strategy by the mathematics of it. And we'll show you exactly what we mean as we move forward. Remember, your retirement income doesn't have to chase every return to get the highest return on every dollar. That can be problematic for you if it doesn't turn out that way. You want your investments to grow, but you also don't want to have to tap into them for income. And that's what we can help you do. So I'm looking to chat with you one-on-one. We do a Zoom call. We'll get right to it. We'll talk about the key issues that you're looking to solve. The link is in the description. Click on it, book your call, and I am looking forward to chatting with you one-on-one to give you this powerful information. See you soon.